class. I hope you all are doing good and you all are doing your studies very well. Well, in this video lecture, we are going to start about the nutrition in bacteria. Okay, and when we are talking about nutrition in bacteria, we are actually talking about nutrition in Monera, right? Well, if we talk about nutrition in Monera, we find that Monera shows maximum nutritional diversity, right? Now, this we have already spoken about. This shows maximum nutritional diversity, or when we were talking about this maximum nutritional diversity, I did tell you that these the members of Monera, that is bacteria, are both autotrophic and heterotrophic in nature. Plus, we have also seen that in autotrophic, they can be either photoautotrophic or can be chemoautotrophic. Even within the photoautotrophic, there can be further classification, that is different type of photoautotrophic bacteria can be there. Even in heterotrophic, they can show different type of heterotrophic mode of nutrition, that is they can be saprophytic, they can be parasitic, they can be symbiotic and so on, correct? And since this kingdom, the members of kingdom Monera, that is the bacteria, shows different variety of mode of nutrition, hence we say that this kingdom has maximum nutritional diversity. No any other kingdom has this much diverse mode of nutrition as kingdom Monera have. Okay. So today what we are going to do is we are going to see these different type of mode of nutrition that can be found in bacteria. Okay, I'm not saying that in a single bacterium you are going to find all these type of mode of nutrition. No, right? But I'm saying that different bacteria can have different mode of nutrition. And when we are talking about the kingdom Monera, we find different kinds of bacteria showing different variety of or different types of mode of nutrition. Okay, and what we see that these bacteria have so diverse type of mode of nutrition that they have maximum nutritional diversity. No any other kingdom has this much diversity in terms of mode of nutrition. Okay, great. So let us see one by one what is it. So let me make it as a graph. Okay, so what we are going to do is we are going to small, we're going to reduce size. Well, let's see. So what I'm going to see here is we are going to see is nutrition in bacteria. Okay. Well, when we are talking about this nutrition in bacteria, we know that they can either be autotrophic or heterotrophic. Great. Now, we know that autotrophic is the mode of nutrition in which organism is going to prepare their own food from inorganic raw materials, right? So all those organisms which prepare their food from inorganic raw materials such as carbon dioxide are known as autotrophic, correct? Now, in order to do autotrophic nutrition, in order to manufacture their own food, synthesize their own food from inorganic raw materials, they are going to need two things. Number one is energy. Number one is energy. And number two is electron source. Okay. That is to get reduced. Okay. So they any organism which is showing autotrophic nutrition requires these two things. Number one, source of energy, okay, and secondly is electron source. Now, the source of energy can either be light, okay, that is called photo, or it can be chemical energy or chemical reaction, okay. So the source of energy can either be light or can be chemical reaction, okay. Now on this basis, the autotrophic nutrition can be divided into two parts, that is photoautotrophic and chemoautotrophic, okay. We will see. Now, even if we go further in photoautotrophic, on the basis of electron source, further the photoautotrophic can be classified into two groups, that is oxygenic and anoxygenic, okay. So let us see. So if we have this autotrophic mode of nutrition can be further divided into photoautotrophic and chemoautotrophic. Now this is on the base of what? Energy source. This is on the base of energy source. Photo, light. So here the energy source is light. Chemo for chemical reaction. So in case of chemoautotrophic mode of nutrition, the energy source is chemical reactions. Okay. Especially what? Oxidative reactions. Okay. Great. So on the basis of source of energy, the autotrophic nutrition is divided into two groups, that is photoautotrophic and chemoautotrophic. Further, the photoautotrophic is divided into two categories on the basis of electron source. Okay. Now, if the electron source is water, in that case, what happens is, see here, what happens if you have water as a source, the reaction goes something like this. Water, and then for energy there is light, and you form C6H12O6 plus 6H2O plus 6O2, right? So this oxygen is liberated when there is water as electron source, okay. And that's why such photoautotrophic mode of nutrition is called oxygenic photoautotrophic mode of nutrition, okay. So oxygenic photoautotrophic. Now there could be another case where instead of water, the electron source can be hydrogen sulfide, H2S, and in this case, if there is light, there will be formation of these things, but instead of oxygen, you will form elemental sulfur. You are going to form elemental sulfur, okay. So here sulfur is formed, but oxygen is not formed. So oxygen is not going to release in this type of autotrophic nutrition, and hence it is called anoxygenic. Are you getting it? Very well. So the photoautotrophic mode of nutrition can further be oxygenic or anoxygenic, okay. I'm omitting these reactions. This is not required here, okay. Very well. Now, so photoautotrophic is of two types, oxygenic and anoxygenic, okay, chemoautotrophic. Now let us understand about heterotrophic. Now if we are talking about heterotrophic, the heterotrophic can further be classified into three groups, right? So in case of bacteria, the heterotrophic nutrition can either be symbiotic, as we find in case of rhizobium species, okay, or it can be, just a minute, or it can be saprophytic. It can be saprophytic, or it can be parasitic. Okay, so let us understand what we have seen so far. We have seen that the nutrition in bacteria can either be autotrophic or heterotrophic. Among autotrophic, it can either be photoautotrophic or chemoautotrophic. Even the photoautotrophic can be of two types, oxygenic and anoxygenic. Whereas the heterotrophic mode of nutrition in bacteria can either be symbiotic, saprophytic, or parasitic. Great. Well, let us see one by one. What are these? So let me start with the first one, that is photoautotrophic. Well, photoautotrophic, the energy source for such autotrophic mode of nutrition is light. Well, this light can either be in the visible range or in the near infrared region. Okay, so this light can be either in visible range or NIR, that is near infrared light. Remember, in case of bacteria, many times the light that they absorb is near infrared light. That is, they have the wavelength lambda is above 700. So it is, just a minute. So the lambda is above 700 nanometer, usually in 800 something range. Okay, so 820 to 850 nanometers. But if the bacteria is doing photoautotrophic uh, synthesis in visible range, then the lambda is in 400 to 700 nanometer range. Okay, so bacteria, autotrophic bacteria can do photoautotrophic nutrition, and for that the energy source is light. Hence the word is photoautotrophic, right? Autotrophic because they are making their own food, photo because the energy source is light, and this light can either be visible or NIR, that is near infrared light. Great. Now we have seen that this photoautotrophic, okay, photoautotrophic can further be divided into two parts, right? That is oxygenic photoautotrophic nutrition, and the second one was anoxygenic. Let us first see the oxygenic photoautotrophic. This is a type of photoautotrophic nutrition in which the electron source is water, and hence O2 is released as a byproduct. Okay, and therefore it is called oxygenic photoautotrophic nutrition. Oxygenic because it is going to produce oxygen. Which kind of oxygen? It is molecular oxygen, right? It is molecular oxygen, O2. Great. Now, where do we find examples are more important here? Okay, so example of oxygenic photoautotrophic bacteria, BGA, that is blue green algae. Okay, that is blue green algae. Okay, and blue green algae is also known as cyanobacteria. याद रखिएगा इसको. Like cyanobacteria. What are the example of cyanobacteria? Let me tell you. The examples are like nostoc, like Anabina or oscillatoria. Okay, तो ये याद रखेंगे आप लोग. The examples are blue-green algae such as nostoc, Anabina, oscillatoria. These all are what? Oxygenic photoautotrophic bacteria. Very well. Now let us see the anoxygenic. Anoxygenic photoautotrophic bacteria, right? Anoxygenic photoautotrophic bacteria. So when we are talking about anoxygenic, here the electron source is molecules other than water. Molecule other than water, such as hydrogen sulfide, H2S. Okay, and we have seen in case of H2S, if H2S is used as electron source, then instead of oxygen, elemental sulfur is produced, right? And therefore oxygen is not liberated, and hence it is called an oxygenic photoautotrophic mode of nutrition, right? Very well. Example, again, most important example. Now, there are some class of bacteria that show an oxygenic photoautotrophic mode of nutrition, and these are the most important one is green sulfur bacteria. Okay, याद रखेंगे आप लोग ये सारे examples. Green sulfur bacteria, they show an oxygenic photoautotrophic mode of nutrition. Now, what are the examples of green sulfur bacteria? Right, again, most important, it is chlorobium. It is chlorobium or thiothrix, right? So these two examples are of green sulfur bacteria, and they show an oxygenic photoautotrophic nutrition. Great. What are other bacteria that show an oxygenic phototrophic mode of nutrition? That is purple sulfur bacteria. याद रखेंगे आप लोग ये सब example. Purple sulfur bacteria, right? Purple sulfur bacteria such as chromatium, right? This is also what? An oxygenic photoautotrophic. Other bacteria such as purple non-sulfur bacteria. Purple non-sulfur bacteria. What is the example? Example is rhodospirillum or rhodopseudomonas. Correct? So these all bacteria are what? Purple non-sulfur bacteria, and they are example of an oxygenic photoautotrophic nutrition. Apart from these, there are some other bacteria groups such as Heliobacter. Okay, let me correct it. Such as Heliobacter or some bacteria from group called Acidobacter. These all are examples of an oxygenic photoautotrophic mode of nutrition. याद रहेगा प्लीज. तो देखिए अभी हमने क्या देखा वो हम लोग शॉर्ट में देखते हैं. See, we have seen that Photoautotrophic nutrition can be of two types, that is oxygenic and anoxygenic. The examples are more important. For oxygenic bacteria are BGA, blue-green algae, such as Nostoc, Anabina, Oscillatoria. We are going to see them in detail. We have to study them separately. Well, the other group was anoxygenic photoautotrophic. Now, these bacteria uses any other molecule as electron source other than water, such as H2S, right? Example, since they are using H2S, these all are mostly the sulfur bacteria, such as green sulfur bacteria, purple sulfur bacteria, or purple non-sulfur bacteria, and then some members of Heliobacter and Acidobacter. Okay. The other examples, like for the examples for GSB, that is green sulfur bacteria, is chlorobium, chloro for green, है ना? So chlorobium or thiothrax, purple sulfur bacteria, chromatium, okay, and purple non-sulfur bacteria, rhodospirillum and rhodopseudomonas. याद रहेगा? इतना याद रखिए. I hope आपके सारे questions हो जाएंगे. Great. Okay, so this was autotrophic mode of nutrition. Now let us see the heterotrophic mode of nutrition. Okay. So when we are talking about heterotrophic, we have seen that the members of kingdom Monera, that is bacteria, can show different types of heterotrophic mode of nutrition, such as the first one that we saw was symbiotic. Okay. Now symbiotic, I hope many of you will be knowing the meaning of this word symbiotic, or you know what is symbiosis is or symbiotic relation is. You also have studied about rhizobium species. These are rhizobium are the bacteria which forms a symbiotic relationship with the leguminous plant root. They form the root nodule, and inside the root nodule, these bacteria fixes the atmospheric nitrogen for the plant, while in return the plant provides them food and shelter. Correct? So this is what this bacteria is not preparing its own food, rather it is taking it from a different organism, that is from the plant. So it is what? Heterotrophic. It is showing heterotrophic mode of nutrition. But is it harming the plant? No. It is in the symbiotic relationship. That's why such a heterotrophic nutrition is called symbiotic heterotrophic nutrition. Example, again, example is important. याद रखिएगा, rhizobium species. Okay. अच्छा, by the way, आप में से जितने लोगों को भी डाउट है कि rhizobium is a single type of bacterium, no, not at all. Rhizobium is a genus. Rhizobium is a genus, and there are many different species of rhizobium. Okay. To be particular, almost every type of plant, okay, mostly the pulses, which forms the symbiotic association with rhizobium, all these plants have different species. They have symbiotic relationship with different species of rhizobium. What I'm trying to say here is, if we take pea plant, right? So pea plant is known to form symbiotic relationship with rhizobium. It is known to form the root nodule, correct? So the rhizobium found in pea plant would not be the same rhizobium species found in the soybean plant or with any other pulses. Are you getting it? Very well. So rhizobium is a genus, and within this genus there are like around 50 to 60 different species, and each of these species has their characteristic host or characteristic symbiotic partner. Host would be a wrong word. It has its characteristic symbiotic partner. Okay, very well. So this is symbiotic relation. Okay. So if we talk about the second type of heterotrophic nutrition, that was saprotrophic Now, I'm sure that all of you will be knowing the meaning of saprotrophic nutrition, right? Saprotrophic nutrition, it is a type of nutrition in which the organism feeds on dead and decaying matter, or we can say the organism secrete the digestive enzymes outside its body, digest the food outside its body, and then absorb the simple digested molecules, right? So this is saprotrophic. Saprotrophs are mainly decomposers, right? They do the function of decomposition in the ecosystem. Well, so when we are saying saprotrophic mode of nutrition, the bacteria, okay, a lot of bacteria are saprotrophic. Okay, now within the saprotrophic, they can be two types. Okay, so bacteria can either be obligate saprophytic, okay, obligate saprotrophic, or they can be facultative. They can be facultative saprotrophic. What is the meaning of these two terms? Well, when we are saying obligate, देखिए जहाँ कहीं पे भी I'm going to use this word obligate, this means that this particular bacteria is going to show always saprotrophic mode of nutrition. Okay, it cannot be parasitic, or it cannot be symbiotic. It always and always it is saprophytic. Okay, it is going to show saprotrophic mode of nutrition. When I'm saying facultative, देखिए obligate का मतलब होता है कि 100% it is, है ना, वो change नहीं हो सकता है. जैसे कि how would I say? Well, let me take one example. Suppose I say, uh, let me take an example of two students. There is one student Ram and the other student is, say for example, Duryodhan. Okay. Now, Ram is a student who always speak the truth. He never speaks lie. Okay. Now, Duryodhan is a student who also speaks truth, but it is not guaranteed that he is always going to speak the truth. Are you getting it? So, Ram is obligate in speaking truth, but Duryodhan is facultative. As and when required, he will speak truth, else he can be lying. Getting it? Well, so obligate saprotrophic bacteria is always saprotrophic. Okay, but facultative, it is mostly saprotrophic, but if conditions are not suitable, it can be parasitic as well. Are you getting it? Very well. So bacteria can be, the saprophytic bacteria can be of either types, that is obligate or facultative. So when we are talking about the obligate saprotrophic, what is the example? Example, again, important here. Example is Clostridium botulinum. Clostridium botulinum. Now, Clostridium botulinum is a type of bacteria which causes botulism disease. It causes botulism disease. ठीक है, इसके बारे में हम लोग पढ़ेंगे बाद में. It is an interesting case. Okay, it produces a neurotoxin. It is fatal. ठीक है, तो Clostridium botulinum is obligate saprotrophic. It cannot sustain or can live inside a living host. Okay, it always grows in a dead and decaying environment. Okay. Similarly, if we talk about the facultative saprotroph, the examples are many, but let me take like Staphylococcus, or maybe Yes, Staphylococcus. Okay. Now, most of the bacteria, those are pathogenic. They are facultative saprotrophs. Okay. So this is saprotrophic mode of nutrition. Apart from this, the bacteria can also be parasitic. They can also be parasitic. Now, again, you know what parasitic mode of nutrition is. If bacteria is harming its host, okay, then it is a parasite, and such mode of nutrition is parasitic. In parasitic mode of nutrition, the organism directly derives its nutrition from its host. Okay. Now, again, the parasitic mode of nutrition can either be obligate parasitic, obligate parasitic, or it can be facultative parasitic. Okay. Now, what are the examples of obligate parasite? Obligate parasitic such as Mycobacterium leprae. Okay. This particular bacteria, again, it causes a disease in humans. It is obligate parasitic. Whereas if you are talking about facultative parasitic, the example could be Mycobacterium tuberculosis. We are going to learn all these bacteria later. Okay. Again, this is a bacteria which causes a disease in humans, a grave disease in humans. Okay. And it is facultative parasitic. Great. So can you see bacteria can show a wide variety of mode of nutrition, right? Autotrophic or heterotrophic. Within autotrophic, they can either be photoautotroph or chemoautotroph. Within photoautotroph, they can be oxygenic or anoxygenic. Within heterotrophic, they can either be symbiotic, they can be either obligate saprotrophic, they can be facultative saprotrophic, they can be obligate parasitic, or they can be facultative parasitic. Well, so can you see now, can you appreciate that bacteria, different bacteria show different mode of nutrition? That is, they have maximum nutritional diversity. The kingdom Monera has maximum nutritional diversity. I hope now you are able to appreciate why I gave this comment, that comment of maximum nutritional diversity in regard to Monerans. Okay, very well. Well, after seeing nutrition in bacteria, let us understand respiration in bacteria. Okay, so we are going to see next is respiration in bacteria. Well, when we are talking about respiration in bacteria, again, the bacteria show diversity. Okay, they have a lot of diversity, even in terms of respiration. That is, the bacteria can either be aerobic, okay, or they can be anaerobic. Okay? So even in terms of respiration, they have diversity. They can either be aerobic or they can be anaerobic. Within aerobic, they can either be obligate or they can be facultative. Okay. Within anaerobic, again, they can either be obligate or facultative. So can you see here again in terms of respiration, the bacteria are showing maximum diversity. Right? They can be aerobic, they can be anaerobic. Within aerobic, they can be either obligate aerobic or they can be facultative aerobic. Within and similarly within anaerobic, they can be either obligate anaerobic or facultative anaerobic. Very well. So obligate aerobic, they are completely aerobic. bacteria, okay, they will die in absence of O2. In the absence of oxygen, these will die. What is the example? Example is very much important, such as uh, azotobacter. Okay, तो ये याद रखिएगा. Obligate aerobic is azotobacter. Correct. So the second type of bacteria on the basis of respiration is facultative anaerobe. Okay, facultative anaerobe. Now, what is it? When we say facultative, okay, facultative anaerobe, this means that facultative को आप ऐसे समझिए, it is like part time. Okay, so mainly it is an aerobic bacteria, but for the part time it is what? Anaerobic bacteria. Are you getting it? So when we are saying facultative anaerobe or anaerobic bacteria, it is mainly aerobic bacteria. It is mainly aerobic. But if the conditions are anoxygenic, okay, that is in the environment there is less oxygen, then they become anaerobe. They start to behave as anaerobic bacteria, and that's why they are what? Facultative anaerobe or facultative anaerobic bacteria. समझ में आ रहा है? Yeah. So best thing will be like obligate is true and facultative is like part time. Okay. So facultative anaerobe is only for the part time it is anaerobic bacteria. It behaves as anaerobic bacteria. Mainly it is what? Aerobic bacteria. What is the example? The example is Acetobacter aceti or Clostridium tetani. Okay, these are scientific names. Great. So we have seen two type of bacteria. One is obligate aerobic and second one is facultative anaerobic. Okay, great. These two are mainly aerobic bacteria. Obligate will always aerobic. If there is no oxygen, they will die. Facultative anaerobic is mainly aerobic, but if there is no oxygen in the environment, they will start to do anaerobic respiration. They will switch to anaerobic respiration. That is, they are not going to die. Okay. Example is Acetobacter aceti and Clostridium tetani. Okay. What is the third type of bacteria on the basis of respiration? Right. That is obligate anaerobe. Obligate anaerobe or anaerobic bacteria. Okay. Anaerobic bacteria को ही हम anaerobes भी कहते हैं. Right. So it is obligate anaerobic. It means it is only and only anaerobic. Right. That is, in aerobic conditions, they are going to die. They will not survive. What is the example? Again, मैं आपको फिर से बोल रहा हूँ, सिर्फ example से ज़्यादा important है यहाँ पे, right? Anaerobic, obligate anaerobic example is Clostridium botulinum. Clostridium botulinum. Now this is the bacteria which causes botulism, okay, or botulin disease, and it only and only survives in anaerobic condition. Okay, if you put it in aerobic condition, they will start to die. Cool. Okay, what is the fourth one? The fourth type of bacteria on the basis of respiration, that is the facultative aerobic bacteria, right? Now I'm saying facultative aerobic, it means it is mainly what? It is mainly anaerobic bacteria. It is mainly anaerobic, but if the conditions are not suitable for anaerobic respiration, if there is presence of oxygen, okay, or I should say in presence of oxygen, they will not die. Instead, they will start to behave as aerobic bacteria. Okay, and hence we call them as facultative aerobic bacteria. What is the example? The example is important here again. All fermenting bacteria or all fermentation bacteria. All fermentation bacteria except Acetobacter aceti. Okay, so except this Acetobacter aceti, all fermentation bacteria are facultative aerobic bacteria or facultative aerobes. याद रहेगा? Great. So what we have seen so far is the nutrition in bacteria and respiration in bacteria. And within respiration, we have seen that all the four possible or possibilities are found in case of kingdom Monera. That is, these bacteria can either be obligate aerobic, facultative anaerobic, obligate anaerobic, and facultative aerobic. Okay, we have seen the examples. So this is it for this video lecture. We have seen the nutrition and respiration. Okay, so stay tuned for rest of the topics and stay safe. Thank you.